Well, hello and welcome to Ziggy Air. Today we're going to take a look at a new add-on for Microsoft Flight Simulator called FSHud, which is a payware ATC controller that you can use with Microsoft Simulator. And supposedly it's better than the AI Microsoft Simulator ATC. So we'll take a look at it. This is not going to be an in-depth review, but we will take a flight from Dublin to Heathrow, and we will see how it works. Just a couple of things. This is for IFR flights only. They claim they're working, the company is called Flight One, and they're saying that right now there's just only IFR, but they're working on VFR addition to the FS HUD software. So we are getting started here, and the first thing we need to do is to actually start both the flight simulator, Microsoft Flight Simulator, and we need to start the FSHud program. So it doesn't start at the same time, so you have to start them individually. And the good thing about this is that you can also import your SimBrief flight plans into the FSHud ATC window. If you can watch a video that I created in linking your SimBrief account into FSHud and importing a SimBrief flight plan. All right. Additionally, you can take a look at the manuals and the setup. If you need to also, there's a video that I created for modifying your flight simulator options to work with FSHud. You can actually take a look at the video on the top right over here and how to modify your Microsoft Flight Simulator's options to work correctly with FSHud. Otherwise, you'll have some conflicts with the regular ATC. All right, so while this is loading, what we can do is I can show you how to go about and get and install FSHud from the website. So what you do is actually you go to Flight One website, and it's a $34.95, so it's a reasonable price. We can talk a little bit more about that later on in terms of how is it worth it. So you actually go and you have to, this is a little bit of a complicated process. You have to download the Flight One agent, which is I'm showing right here. And from the Flight One agent, you then download the FSHud applications. The application is actually not the actual application. It's the manager, the FSHud manager, where you connect with your account and so on and so forth. So again, it's a little bit complicated. I don't know why they had to do this whole process, but anyway, so this is the FSHud manager. Here you find your manuals, your you connect your account, you connect your Navigraph account to this. Then you download the application, which then you run at the same time that you run your flight simulator. Okay, so we can take a look at that. Once Flight Simulator loads and we create a flight plan, or we import a flight plan into Microsoft Flight Simulator, then we start the FSHud application. Now, I can talk a little bit more about flight planning here because it's not as straightforward as you expect. So I'll address this later on in the video. All right, so from here, what we can do is go ahead and click on World Map. From World Map, we're going to load up flight simulator plan that we created in SimBrief. So we're going to do it this way because there's some limitations in terms of flight planning straight out of Microsoft Flight Simulator and FSHud. So you can't just go in and go to world map and then create your flight plan. However, one thing you can do, and we'll talk about it a little bit later, is to create a flight plan in FSHud and copy that into your FMS for your flight plan. So that's a little bit more of a complicated process, but if you really are true to aviation and flying, then you wouldn't mind doing it that way. But that's not for this video. We're just going to stick to the flight planning from SimBrief and then show how FSHud follows that flight plan and if there are any issues within the flight. Okay, from Flight Simulator, we're going to click on World Map. And from World Map, we're going to go down to the menu below and click on Space or More, which is going to give us another menu. And then from here, we're going to click on Load Save, or you can hit the space bar if you want to. So from here, you're going to click on Load from PC, and you're going to navigate to your folder where you downloaded your flight plan from SimBrief. In this case, I have it under my Downloads folder. So I'm going to select that and select the Dublin to Heathrow, EGLL. All right, so once that plan is loaded, Microsoft Flight Simulator will give you a graphical map showing your flight plan and the waypoints from Dublin to Heathrow. So we'll continue here and we'll just click on Fly. Once we are on the runway, we'll follow the instructions from FSHud. And we click on Ready to Fly, bring up the FSHud window. I'll maximize it to Heathrow. All right, so let's take a look, and we're going to start a SimBrief flight from the flight plan that we loaded, and FSHud will bring in to the window the flight plan with some details about the flight plan. And FSHud will just show the flight plan in a text format, and it'll give you a graphical showing of the altitude that the flight plan will follow. Once we do that, we click on Continue, and FSHud will load up the flight plan and show you where it thinks that you want to start. So it thinks you want to start at parking 42. Now you can change this, or you can just click on resume from current position. So we're just going to click on resume from current position, and we're just going to tell it to continue the flight. Here we'll just follow the instructions for takeoff. FSHud will show you the runway, departure runway, and the wind speed and wind direction. There's some, if you want to take a look at here, some of the settings that we can modify, and also some of the And in here we can actually change the tail number or the call sign and the flight number. Although I don't see that it works well with the integration with Microsoft Flight Simulator.
Dublin Tower, Zulu India Golf Golf Yankee, runway 28 left, ready for departure.
Zulu India Golf Golf Yankee, wind 140 degrees at 2 knots, runway 28 left, cleared for takeoff.
Runway 28 left, cleared for takeoff, Zulu India Golf Golf Yankee.
Okay, so Ziggy is the pilot in command, and I'm the pilot monitoring, so hopefully everything will go well. Sometimes she just goes wild, but we're going to be using the autopilot most of the time, so it should be okay. So I'm just warning you, sometimes she has a mind of her own. Okay, so far so good, Ziggy. So we're climbing to our designated altitude, and we're going to take a look at our different settings or menus that FSHud provides us here for our IFR flight. Alright, so here we have two main windows, the left and the right one. The left one just shows us our waypoints and the distance to that waypoint. We have our time and our nautical miles to that particular waypoint.
Manchester Center, 6441, inbound, Alpha Golf Lima India Lima, at flight level 220. 6441, radar contact, maintain, flight level 220. Zulu India Golf Golf Yankee, climb and maintain, flight level 350. Climb and maintain, flight level 350, Zulu India Golf Golf Yankee. Maintain, flight level 220, 6441. 8.
So you probably noticed too that the voices are a little bit different depending on where you are. So this is one of the FSHud sort of like a feature that they have different voices, and the voices do change throughout the course of the flight. However, there is not a setting that you can use to change the voice or the voices that you hear. So it's pretty much like an AI type of feature rather than one that the pilot can control. Also, you do have some settings that you can change while you're in flight. This particular ones you can change your tail number and call sign. However, I haven't found this to be helpful or actually that it works in any way. We also have the ability to see the AI traffic and what type of traffic and where they are, whether they're parked, whether they are airborne, that type of thing. So that's kind of a nice feature that you can take a look at, where those aircrafts are currently.
Zulu India Golf Golf Yankee. Expect Nougat 1 Hotel. Arrival Bravo November November. ILS. Approach. Runway 27 right. Report when ready for descent.
Okay, we got our arrival instructions. And we have been instructed to let them know when we're ready for descent. Okay, so we can take a look at the overview arrival instructions.
Expect Nougat 1 Hotel. Arrival Bravo November November. ILS. Approach. Runway 27 right. Report when ready for descent. Zulu India Golf Golf Yankee. A3903. Climb and maintain. Flight level 900. Contact Cosford. Approach 135.87. Climb and maintain. Flight level 900. Contact approach 135.87. Zulu India Golf Golf Yankee. Ready for descent. Zulu India Golf Golf Yankee. Descend and maintain. Flight level 260. Cleared. Nougat 1 Hotel. Arrival. Descend and maintain. Flight level 260. Cleared. Nougat 1 Hotel. Arrival. Zulu India Golf Golf Yankee. Manchester Center 90907 at 2,400 climbing. Flight level 80.
So quickly, some first impressions about this new add-on. First, I think it's a little complicated on the installation and the steps that you need to take. Seems to be not there yet in terms of integration with the Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. I think they still need to do some updates to make it work more seamless. And there seems to be a kind of a hit on the frame rate when you use this particular add-on. It also is very noticeable when you're in the using the add-on that it's using a lot of resources. So sometimes the voices are kind of break, or they're kind of late in coming in. So there's still some work to be done here in terms of correcting some of those things.
Zulu India Golf Golf Yankee. Established on localizer. Zulu India Golf Golf Yankee. Contact Heathrow Tower 118.5. Contact Heathrow Tower 118.5. Zulu India Golf Golf Yankee. Heathrow Tower. Zulu India Golf Golf Yankee. On final 27 right. Zulu India Golf Golf Yankee. Wind 230 degrees at 14 knots. Cleared to land 27 right. Cleared to land 27 right. Zulu India Golf Golf Yankee.
I like the fact that you can change your settings and change your departure point and things like that. I like the fact that the voices do change in between one traffic controller and the other. But there's still some issues with it, and I think that they need to do some work with it. I mean, it's $34. It could be that they make some of those changes and it improves on the experience. But so far, I think it's not there yet. So those are my 2 cents. Okay, so hopefully I think Ziggy has done a pretty good job in bringing us through the approach here, and we are on the glide path. So far so good. We're doing a great approach. She's doing a great job. I'm not very concerned about her skills at this level. Well, it's just basically the autopilot. It's okay, girl. Don't worry about it. You'll get there. All right, so we're ready to land, and there's not much we can do except just enjoy the landing. Let's see how she does.
500. 400. 300. 200. 100. 60, 50, 40, 30, 20. Retard. 5.
Zulu India Golf Golf Yankee. When vacated, contact ground 121.7. When vacated, contact ground 121.7. Zulu India Golf Golf Yankee.
Okay, we landed safely. I think she could have done a better job on the center line, but I think overall she did a pretty good job. We arrived safely, and we're here at Heathrow. Well, thank you for your time. I hope you enjoyed this video and it was informative about FSHud. And like I said before, if you like, go ahead and subscribe. We're trying to get to 250 subscribers at this point. So she'll be very happy if we can do that.
Heathrow